shooter, 82% from the line. Underrated star there, Bradley Beal is. He can really help a team. And Washington's honestly been playing pretty well recently. But in this game, they will not be favored. Utah on the road is going to be favored by 6 points. And this is going to be the first game on a 4-game road trip in the Eastern Conference tonight for the Jazz. Pretty good matchup here between two high-seeded teams in Boston. We have the Boston Celtics, hosting the Denver Nuggets. I think everybody pretty much is a go in this game. No injured players for Denver. It says Hayward and Horford are both day-to-day, but I would imagine that they're both going to play here in this game. Boston is going to be a 3.5-point favorite at home. And ESPN's BPI actually gives them a 63% chance to win the game. Denver not nearly as good on the road as they are at home. I do believe they're the NBA's best team record-wise at home. A lot of that could be the elevation, or it could be just the general lack of proximity to other big cities, whereas the East Coast, obviously, trips are a little bit quicker than they are, let's say, to Denver, to Portland, something like that. But yeah, we will see a pretty awesome game. I'm a little bit surprised to see such a high consensus for the Boston Celtics, but they're a fantastic home team also. All right, another 5:30 game. Another back-to-back here. We have the Toronto Raptors at home this time. They're going to be hosting the New York Knicks, both teams on a back-to-back. The Knicks with their win at home yesterday against the Lakers, and the Raptors with their loss on the road yesterday in Detroit. Not much of a plane trip. I'm actually going to assume that they did a bus trip or just drive yourself from Detroit back to Toronto. You have to think this is going to be a pretty tough one for the Knicks. They're going to be without Frankie Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry, both day-to-day, but I think both of them are going to play. Toronto is going to be favored by 11.5 at home. And ESPN's BPI gives them a 92% chance of winning the game. Goddamn. That is stiff. I haven't seen anything that high almost ever for an NBA game. So that's pretty interesting there. All right, 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or Mountain Daylight Time as they call it. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder at home hosting the Miami Heat, part of the Dwayne Wade World Tour, coming to play what is probably going to be his final game against Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and the Thunder. Justice Winslow looks like he's going to be out of the game. Oh, yeah, and this is going to be the game where Russell Westbrook is suspended. He picked up his 16th technical foul on Saturday night. And obviously, once you get 16 technical fouls, you are suspended 1 game. And then I believe for every 2 technical fouls after that, suspended for another game. So Russ really needs to be careful here down the stretch run of the season to kind of mind his P's and Q's, not get his head in too much trouble, because obviously right now they're in the 5th place position, about a game and a half, I believe, or 2 games out of the 3rd spot where they were for the majority of the season, but also only a couple of games out of the 7th or the 8th spot. So this is still, although they will be in the playoffs, it's a crucial time for the Oklahoma City Thunder to kind of wrap everything up, get the seeding they need, and kind of get their shit together moving forward into the playoffs, obviously. They're going to be favored by 5.5 at home in this game, even without Russell Westbrook. And ESPN is going to give them a 76% chance to get the victory in this one. All right, still at 6 o'clock. This is going to be an ESPN matchup and a good one to boot. We have the San Antonio Spurs, winners of I think 7 or 8 straight games, at home, hosting the Golden State Warriors. I do believe Kevin Durant is still going to be missing in this game. It doesn't have him listed as injured. Let me look here. Okay, it looks like Kevin Durant is going to be playing in the game. So all hands on deck here for the Golden State Warriors at the San Antonio Spurs. Well, Cousins is day-to-day. I think he's going to play. Iguodala is day-to-day as well. I think he's going to play too for the Warriors. Yeah, 6 o'clock p.m. in San Antonio. Not much more to say about this one. It's going to be a pretty awesome game. Golden State favored by 2.5 points on the road, and ESPN gives them a 54.5% chance to win the game tonight. All right, in Dallas, Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. Is Doncic actually going to play? I hope he is. Says he's day-to-day. Let me see if he's going to play here. I can't see it for sure whether or not he's going to play. Listed as day-to-day. I would say there's probably a pretty good chance that he enters the game here. But the Mavericks are going to be hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Jrue Holiday, Etuan Moore, and Trevon Blewett are all going to be missing in action in this game for the Pelicans. That's going to be relatively tough to deal with, especially being on the road here. Anthony Davis is going to play his traditional 20 minutes or so, I believe. But the Dallas Mavericks are going to be favored by 5 points at home. ESPN sees this as a little bit closer game, though. Dallas just a 53% chance to win the game. And obviously, if Luka's not playing, I would say they're probably not going to be favored. I would say New Orleans, if Luka doesn't play, should be favored in this game. But as far as it sits right now, Dallas is going to be a 5-point spread. All right, to the Valley of the Sun, we have the Phoenix Suns hosting the Chicago Bulls, a battle between two of the worst teams in the NBA. 17 wins for the Suns, 19 wins for the Bulls. One of these teams is going to get one more. Let's see here. A slew of injuries for the Phoenix Suns. Juwan Evans is out. T.J. Warren is out. And then day-to-day, Kelly Oubre, Rashawn Holmes, and Tyler Johnson, all day-to-day. I didn't see an Oubre injury in their last game, but apparently he's been dealing with some nagging stuff. I would expect him to play in this one. Phoenix is just a 1.5-point favorite at home in this game, but ESPN gives them a 64% chance to get the W. And the final game of the evening, also on ESPN. This one at 8:30 Mountain Time. We have the Portland Trail Blazers at home hosting the Indiana Pacers, who've been playing very well as of late. Bad news for Portland. C.J. McCollum is going to be out of this game. He has a knee injury of some sort of tendon that I cannot pronounce. He's going to be reevaluated in a week. But good news, they don't face a serious injury with him, and it looks like he's going to be back, hopefully full strength for the playoffs, and probably a little bit before that. They do have just about everybody else on their roster available in this game. Obviously, Indiana is going to be without Victor Oladipo, which they have been for the past 2 months or so and will be for the remainder of the season. Still playing very good, Indiana is, though. And Indiana is actually a game and a half better than the Portland Trail Blazers right now as far as the standings are going, even though they are in the East and the Portland Trail Blazers are in the West. Portland going to be favored by 4.5 at home. This is another one of those situations where I do believe they have the second best home record in the NBA. Again, what I would assume a lot of it is proximity, kind of crazy fans, but it's just kind of a pain in the ass to get all the way to Portland from anywhere, especially Indiana. It's going to be a long road trip for them here. Like I said, Portland going to be favored by 4.5 points, and ESPN is going to give them a 61% chance of winning the game. All right, so that's going to take us to the end of the games, a breakdown from yesterday and today. Give you a little top headlines here. KD and Bogut are both going to play for the Warriors. Durant is back, and Andrew Bogut, who was part of their championship run from a couple of years ago, had been playing in Australia, and I believe was the Australian League MVP last year. He is now set to join the Golden State Warriors for another run at a championship. And I pretty much told you all the other stuff. Westbrook is suspended after his 16th technical. McCollum has a knee strain. He's going to be out at least a week. Sweet Lou with the big three-pointer. And apparently that's his first career buzzer beater. Believe that or not, I don't see how that's possible. But Lou Williams had never made a buzzer beater in his career before that point. Strange, but I'll roll with it. And then LeBron, worst quarter in his career. Also got blocked by Mario Hezonja at the end of the game. Tough one there, and then Giannis outduels Embiid with the 52-point performance, but the Sixers are victorious. All right, I'm going to break down the standings real quick. I'm going to play some music, and I'm going to get you guys out of here. So, in the Western Conference, The number 1 seed, 52-18, is the Milwaukee Bucks. They have lost one straight game, 6-4 in their last 10. The number 2 seed, Toronto Raptors, 49-21, 3 games behind Milwaukee, also losers of one straight and just 5-5 in their last 10. In third position, already clinching a playoff spot, the Philadelphia 76ers, 45-25, 7 games behind the Bucks, 4 games behind the Raptors. They've won 4 straight games and 7 of their last 10. In fourth position, at least for the time being, we have the Indiana Pacers, 44-26, 8 games behind Milwaukee, just 1 game behind Philadelphia for third place. They've lost 1 straight and they've lost 6 of their last 10. In fifth position, the Boston Celtics, 43-27. That puts them 9 games behind Milwaukee, but just 1 game behind Indiana for the 4th seed and 2 games behind Philadelphia for the 3 seed. They've won back-to-back games and 6 of their last 10. In sixth position, we have the Detroit Pistons, 36-33. Excellent second half of the season for them so far. 15.5 games behind Milwaukee. 6.5 behind the Boston Celtics for the 5th spot. Probably not going to reach them this season. They've won back-to-back games and 7 of their last 10. And the 7th seed, we have the Brooklyn Nets, 36-36. 17 points behind the Milwaukee Bucks, or 17 games behind the Milwaukee Bucks, 1.5 games behind the Detroit Pistons for 6th position. They've lost 3 straight games and 6 of their last 10. And the Miami Heat sitting in 8th position at 33-36, 18.5 games behind the Bucks and 1.5 games behind the Brooklyn Nets for the 7th place. They've won 1 straight game and 7 of their last 10. Really only 2 other teams have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs, so I'll ring up them and then we will not talk about the bottom portions there of the East. In 9th position, the Orlando Magic at 33-38, 19.5 games behind Milwaukee, but just 1 game behind Miami for that last spot in the Eastern Conference. They've won back-to-back games and 5 of their last 10. And in 10th place, the Charlotte Hornets, 31-38. They are 20.5 behind Milwaukee, but just 1 game behind Orlando and 2 games behind Miami for the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They've lost 1 game in a row and 7 of their last 10. All right, switching over to the Western Conference. Number 1 in the Western Conference has been pretty much the entire season. Golden State, 47-21. 2 games in a row winning streak for them, and they've won 5 of their last 10. A little bit of mediocrity here right now for the Golden State Warriors, but they're still in first place, still dictate their destiny in the Western Conference playoffs. In second seed, we have the Denver Nuggets, 46-22, 1 game behind the Golden State Warriors for the first spot in the West. They've won 3 straight games and 6 of their last 10. Keep an eye on them in Boston tonight. One of those 2 teams is going to be moving up and have a real good shot at moving Boston up from 5 to 4, especially with Indiana playing in Portland. And then, let's see, Denver, Golden State playing tonight, obviously, too, a tough game in San Antonio, but then Denver with the game in Boston. They have a chance to tie Golden State for first place if all goes well for them. All right, in third place, we have the Houston Rockets playing great as of late. Like I said earlier, the hottest team in the league right now. They are 44-26, 4 games behind Golden State for first position, 3 games behind Denver for second position. They're the winners of back-to-back games, 9 of their last 10, and I believe 11 of their last 12 games they have won. Like I said, hottest team in the league right now. Everybody watch out for the Rockets. In fourth place, we have the Portland Trail Blazers, 42-27 record, 5.5 games behind Golden State for the first position, and just a game and a half behind Houston right now for the third spot in the West. They have lost their last game, but they've won 6 of their last 10. And falling to the 5th seed at this point here, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Going to be without Westbrook again tonight in a pretty crucial game, somewhat of a must-win game against the Miami Heat at home.